Hello, everybody. Welcome to Telli Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. I have a very special guest with me today. He is on a popular Netflix show.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you guys have recognized him when you see him, Bryton Constantine.
Hi.
Cheers. Thanks for coming.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, for the people that don't know you, how did you get to where you are today?
It's a long story. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, born and raised all 18 years till I went to college. But it was an uphill battle kind of from the start. I was the first colored person born in my family. I didn't know my dad, didn't meet my dad till I was 10. Went to 2 all-white schools growing up. Ended up having to transfer for high school because it's just like, the shit that's going on in there. Transferred for high school, started playing football, became really good. Number 1 linebacker in Louisiana. Went to Clemson, 4 knee surgeries.
Jeez.
That's the shortened version, but yeah, I kind of had this long story of just trying to make it somewhere, and it was really football. Football was all I had.
Right.
Like, I started playing tackle football when I was like 6. Outside grinding every day, football, basketball, baseball, whatever. But I knew it was gonna be football. My coaches knew, my mom knew, everybody knew. And then tore my ACL my senior year of high school playing basketball. Ironically enough, on senior night. That was, I still remember.
Senior night of high school.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
And I was already committed to Clemson. They still kept me on scholarship. I ended up enrolling. That was in like December, January, going into 2019. And then I enrolled in Clemson summer of 2019 with a torn ACL. So I was just recovering, like getting ready for my comeback. Like whenever I'm ready to go, I'll be ready to play. So I'm going through that. I finally get cleared. First day back in practice, tear it again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How long did you get cleared before you tore it again?
That
like
day.
First practice?
That day.
Oh, wow.
I'm in the training room. I cleared all the tests. Like, you got to do these special tests with your leg, make sure your strength is good. Got cleared on everything. It was like 7-8 months. It was the perfect amount of time. Went back out to practice that day. Tore it again.
Wow.
Like first or second drill I was doing. So clearly something wasn't.
It wasn't right. Meant in your cards to play.
Yeah.
Then.
And then I recovered. I was like, you know what? I'm still going to try. Went back. Recovered again. We played LSU in the national championship. So it was, and we lost. And so being from Louisiana, it was like, fuck. All of this shit going on at one time.
Right.
Right after we played LSU, it was probably like 6 months outside of my last surgery. Tore it again. And the reason I tore it is I never told the media. I never did anything. But it was kind of on some like fucked up shit because I wasn't cleared to do a drill. Mm-hmm. And that coach, not gonna mention his name, but I love him to death. He's like recruited me, like everything. Like I love him to death. Thought that I was cleared enough to do a certain drill. And it's 5:00 in the morning. Like I'm arguing. I'm like, I'm not cleared to do this shit. I'm not. But coach is breaking his foot off in your ass at 6:00 in the morning, 5:00 in the morning. You don't have an option. So I hop in the drill. First time through, feel a pop. And I walk over to him. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. I felt a little pop. Like, I'm not doing this. Yell to the trainer, whatever. And so I just run the rest of practice, like just running. And I go get an MRI that night or the next day, shattered, worse than the 2 before. Yeah. And so at that time, it was just a bad situation. I was like, my family came up there. We had a meeting with 2 coaches, and it was just like a real surreal, like this shit shouldn't be happening to me. But I was cool about it. Like, it was all smiles. I was never too down, never too depressed, because I know everything happens for a reason. Like, I wouldn't be here right now if I was still playing football. My personality was shit. Like, I was a douchebag. Like, you know how that sports shit gets to your head. I'm so happy that it got took from me now. But looking back on it, it was like, that shit was tragic.
Oh, man. Okay, so I'm going to take it all the way back to you being the first biracial person in your family. Mm-hmm. How was that like for you growing up? Because I'm biracial too, so I know the struggles of being able to fit in on one side more than the other side, or this side's pulling you and that side's pulling you. And was there ever like a tug and pull? How was that growing up?
If you want me to be brutally honest, I said I didn't meet my dad till I was 10.
Right.
He lived with me for like the first 2 years. But I don't remember that. I was, a baby. I also didn't get like full background story on who he was, what's going on. Because my mom lied to me the whole time. She had to protect my feelings.
Right.
He was actually locked up. But he played in the NBA. He played overseas basketball. And then he ended up getting locked up. But my mom was telling me that he was still playing basketball. So that was her way of like protecting me at a young age. Yeah. Right. I was her. I still am like her everything. She'll do anything.
Are you the baby or are you the eldest?
Yeah. No. I'm the oldest now, but I'm still like her baby. Yeah. Compared to my younger brother. I love him, but he's not compared. But no, it was good. It was being the first biracial. I didn't have any tug because I didn't know my black side.
Right.
The only thing I knew was my white side. It was me, my mom, her brother, who was like kind of like my father figure growing up, but that's a whole nother story for another day. My grandma and my grandpa, that's it. They're all white. Me at a young age, I don't know any better. Like it doesn't really affect me. Like my family's my family. I didn't look at my family any different. My family didn't really treat me any differently.
So when you met your dad, like how was that situation? How did that happen? What was what did you say?
So he actually came to my house whenever I was 10. And he showed up with his brother. I didn't know which one was my dad. And I say that not to like make people feel bad for me or sorry for me. Like that's not the case, but just to open people's eyes. Like I was a 10-year-old kid and I had 2 grown men show up to my house and I don't know which one my dad. Right. Because I've never known that nigga. Right, I don't know. And then he lived with us after that day, he lived with us for 2 years. And then my mom kicked him out. I was like 13, probably 12, 13 years old, but I still remember like what was going on.
And you didn't know that he just got out of jail and then
I still don't know. I don't ask questions, right? Like I'm a person like out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
So I still don't know like the full, like I don't know if he came straight from jail to my crib. I don't know if he spent 2 years out of jail, 3, I have no idea, but I do know he was locked up and then I didn't meet him until I was 10. There's so many stories about like that I just don't even ask because I don't really want to know. Shit don't matter now.
Right.
But he lived with us for 2 years. My mom kicked him out. But he lived like 10 minutes away. I never went and stayed. I probably stayed with him like once or twice. But I never stayed. I was a mom's boy. Like he didn't have any custody of me. He had nothing, clearly. And so yeah, that was that. And then we started falling out over the years and I stopped talking to him. Like the only connection we had is that he paid my cell phone bill. And so whenever I got to college, I think I was like a freshman, maybe sophomore, it was just a burden at that point. He had 2 more kids, wanted me to claim them like as my siblings and stuff. I'm like, I've met the kids maybe once or twice. Like I have half brothers and sisters on his side that I've never met. Chicago, they're everywhere. I've only met I think 1 or 2 of them. But my little brother has a different dad. So that's cool. He's my real brother. But on my mom's side, everything is related to my mom. It's cool with me.
And you and your mom are like this.
Best friends.
I love it. It's nothing like having a bond with your parent that you can literally talk to as a friend. It just a good person that knows all your business in your life and that you're like related to, that, if anything goes left or right, you can call on. That's the best feeling.
Nah, she's the GOAT in my book. She had me at 21. That's the story with my dad. He was, I think, 35. She 21. So now since I'm 23, I just turned 23. So now I'm like, I kind of see how fucked up that is. You know what I'm saying? And that even makes me like...
And she had to grow up quick.
Right. And so I know he didn't want to have me. My mom is the reason I'm here. If he had to say so, then I wouldn't be here right now. I'm here because she kept me.
Right.
And which is as I get older, my mind starts to understand more that she was a 21-year-old girl having a black kid in the year 2000. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom, she's not the average white girl. Like my mom is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Like she gets down. She knows me inside and out. Even though she's not like black now, because on the show I mentioned that she couldn't really teach me a lot growing up. You could teach like what a mom can teach a son, but there's that line where, okay, like a dad got to step in and teach you this, or a colored person or this, that, whatever. Because I'm going to school, like, I don't even tell her sometimes whenever I get picked on and all of this shit. I'm outside crying on the AC unit after school. Like, she crying because I'm crying. Like, it was just me and her.
Right. And you didn't want to make her feel bad, so you weren't telling her certain things.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
But that was my childhood.
That was
until I got to high school.
Right. So, okay, so moving forward, you injured yourself 4 times back to back, and it feels like every time you were getting to a point of a pivotal moment in your football career, something would happen on the same knee. Like, was it different size, the same knee every time?
All that was my left knee.
Oh, wow. So
got like 8 scars.
When you got to your 4th injury, were you like, all right, I'm done with football. I'm not doing this no more. It's happened too many times. Or you're like persistent on like, all right, this is my path. This is what I know. This is what I got to do regardless of the injuries.
So I ended up tearing my ACL and like meniscus partial 3 times. And after the 3rd time is when I stopped. I was like, it's when that coach situation, all of that, that's whenever I knew I was like, God got a different plan for me. I'm not like, I don't keep getting hurt just because of like inevitability. I keep getting hurt because like something else is taking me on a different path.
Absolutely.
And so I stopped playing. I was still in school, going to class, whatever, still on scholarship. Like I was living had a girl. I was living a great, great life. But I knew that I wanted more. I couldn't just go to school. I had one semester left of school before I dropped out to go do the show. So I'm like, it was for free. But I'm like, if I stay here, if I get this degree,
you can always go back.
I can always go back. I can't always be 22, 23 and like go chase a dream. But I ended up, the 4th time I got hurt, I was just playing basketball with my homies. And the way your meniscus works is that sometimes it gets caught like in your knee, and mine got caught in like the front part of my kneecap, and I couldn't extend my leg until I went and got surgery, which was probably like a week. So I'm walking around with crutches and shit. And that's why I was like, damn, I'm not even playing football anymore and I'm getting hurt. Like, what the fuck? I gotta get out of this town ASAP.
That was in Baton Rouge.
Clemson.
Oh, in Clemson.
For college. Okay. Yeah, I was still up there, just going to school and stuff. But I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. There was too much going wrong. Me and my girl had a fallout and all this other shit. So I'm like, yeah, I got to get the fuck.
So when you tore your meniscus 3 times, all those 3 times was in Clemson, and the first was in high school.
Yeah, ACL and meniscus all 3 times. So I tore it first was senior year of high school, about to go to college. Then I tore it again in college, and then the 4th time was just my meniscus. Because my ACL
was just basketball, had nothing to do with like you practicing drills.
No, it was just me playing basketball on the side. Like, because my ACL now, did my 3rd surgery, they did it really, really, really well. But over time, your meniscus starts to like deteriorate because of the surgeries and stuff. And that's exactly what happened. So now I have none. They took my meniscus completely out of my left knee. Oh, wow. And I do more than ever. Wow. Basketball, any sport, it's whatever.
So you did the show. How was your experience on the show?
Gonna need to sip before I answer that one.
You know what's crazy? I feel like I've talked to so many people that did reality TV, and I feel like that particular show was like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it was like a crazy experience. And I'm like, why is everyone say it's just a crazy experience? Living condition wise, like all of that stuff.
I'm not even gonna say it was crazy because it wasn't like crazy. It definitely was like a once in a lifetime.
Like you never do it again.
I would never be in that fucking situation again, ever. No matter where I go, who I talk to, I'm never gonna be in that situation again. But it was different, you know, like I walk into a hotel and I know I gotta isolate in the hotel for 3 days to make sure nobody got COVID, all of that shit. Right. And I walk in the hotel and it's just like 456. We got the whole hotel pretty much. Right. In London, I've only been to Mexico. I've never been out the country besides that. So I'm fresh out of school, fresh on a flight going to the UK. And I walk in and I'm like, this is kind of fucking weird. Like 456 people, nobody
knows each other.
They won't let you talk to each other. Like none of that. And
so is it like jail almost?
We in there whispering and shit. Like But no, once the game started, yeah. But beforehand,
when you guys got in there, nobody was mic'd up. Like you guys were just in a hotel, and you knew that everyone was in that hotel for the game.
Yeah, and
every last person.
Not everybody. There were a few like tourists and shit going around, but you can tell who was there because we all had to be in one place at this time, or food was being served, and blah 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 blah. I'm pretty sure we probably had the whole hotel to ourselves, if I had to guess.
So that was the first 3 days.
First 3 days, and you got your phone took. I think I had my phone in my room. I know you eventually got your phone took. It was probably the day before we went to start going film. That shit was so sickening, having to turn off my phone and put it in that bag.
Did you have access to your phone like every day after the game, or just complete access, no access to your phone for what was the duration of no phone access?
The whole time.
How long was the whole time?
For me, including those first 3 days, I would say like 11 days. It was short.
Pretty much until you got eliminated.
Right, yeah.
The whole entire time.
No phone, you had no access. Because once you're inside the dorms, you don't know what time it is. You have no windows. There's no clock. There's no nothing. That's the point. Like, that's the psychological trick.
So jail.
How casinos do it, so they trap you in there, so you stay in there.
Right.
That's how this is. They don't want you to feel like you're free at all.
Social experience.
Bathrooms are in there. Like, you don't.
So you're literally in where they have all the beds and everything.
Yeah,
like you're
in there
sleeping
all day. We actually slept there. We were in that bitch all day long. Like, you didn't even really get to see the clips of us in there. We were playing football in there, volleyball. Like, we connected shirts at. Yeah, producers, what the fuck? They didn't put this in there, bro, and I thought they were. It's probably like a harm thing that you're not supposed to do.
You connected shirts.
We had like our jackets, and we had coats and undershirts and everything. And so we got a whole bunch of shirts, and we connected it from like top to top. You couldn't really see in there, but there's a place for all the cameras that's hidden. And then above that, we can tie all of our shirts. That's what we did, and we created like a net. We was playing volleyball and all types of shit.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
So it was good. We had fun moments in there. There were good moments.
How did you guys, like, being there's so many different walks of life of people, how did you, like, find your little crew of, like, all right, this is who I'm going to kick it with. This is who I connect with. This is who works out. This is who don't work out. This is not the crew for me. This is the crew for me. Like, how is it, like, did you just kind of observe how people were moving and then kind of find out like, all right, this is the crew for me?
Yeah, you really just got to talk. Like, I'll talk the moment that's like the first sentence that come out of your mouth. I can probably tell if we're going to be cool or if this, that, whatever. Right. So it was really easy for me. And also as a guy, you can kind of look and be like, okay, I'll probably fuck with him. He ain't gonna fuck with me.
So you were sizing people up and be like, all right.
I mean, I wouldn't.
This is my type of guy. This is not my type of guy.
Nah,
we could kick it or we could not kick it.
I get along with, like, I know it's probably hard to believe after what you saw on the screen, but being biracial helps a lot because I was exposed to both sides, right? Even though I didn't have my dad, sports and this, that, whatever, I'm in, like, I got to pick a group, you know what I'm saying? So it made me real adaptable to whoever's around me and kind of talk about what they like. And it's not manipulation, but it's really just like,
you're playing
I'm kind of good. Yeah, I'm just trying to get along, trying to see what you're talking about. And so that was really the case. I would talk to some of the dads on there and I'll be like, you're cool, but I argued with one dad. I don't think he was shown on the screen one time, but I argued with him. I'm like, nigga, you got 3 kids. You ain't here arguing with me, blah, 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 blah. Going off because we're not getting along.
Right.
But it was real easy to tell, you know, and I had a few select friends in there. They're not going to show you that because I'm the villain. But I did have a good little crew in there.
So how, now that you're done with the show, how do you feel like they portrayed you? Because I feel like with reality TV, producers put out what they want to put out and not what it's hard to really kind of like justify what reality TV is because it's almost like, yes, this is a portion of me, but this is not all of me.
Right.
You know, and they push what they want to push. So in your perspective, how do you think they pushed your character out?
While I was there, I think they did a good job of kind of describing who I was and in that environment. Because in that environment, it was like, oh shit, here comes Brighton, and that's not a bad thing. Most people, through the screen, it's took by people like as a bad thing, like, oh, he's the villain, blah, 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 blah. If you're in those moments and you're not, I don't want to say causing drama, because that like drama's not fun, but if you're not, I guess, vocalizing some sort of opinion, what are you kind of doing? Like, it's reality TV.
And not for nothing. It's Squid Games. There's 456 people. How are you as an individual going to stick out
Exactly
by yourself? How are you going to show you're competitive? How are you going to show you're a leader? What can you possibly do to, I guess, overshadow these 455 other people that you have to compete with? So you have to have some type of strategy. Like, I feel like whether you're portrayed as a villain or a mother or a grandfather or whatever it is that you are on the show, you have to have a role. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they looked at you as like, oh, here's Brighton, who is an athlete, who's young, who's vocal. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad individual because you're competitive, because you're an athlete, or because that you're young.
But it's easy for them to make it look that way.
110%.
And I know that, and I knew that going into it. And everybody asked me, they're like, what was your plan? What was your strategy? I was like, I didn't have one. If you want me to be honest, I knew the moment I got there how I was going to be portrayed. Because I'm portrayed that way if I walk into a club. Like, I'm that way without you even meeting me.
Right.
It's just a stereotype based around a guy like me, like whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. But it's a stereotype, and I know people have that before. Oh, if I just tell them that I used to play football, it's like, like,
I could tell.
Fuck boy, this,
I could
that.
tell. Yeah.
I know you got help. Shut up. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? It's always a stereotype.
Right.
And
so how do you like kind of divert from the stereotype, or do you feed into the stereotype?
I played into it for the show, for purposes of, I dropped out of school. I'm trying to make a name for myself. I'm just being brutally honest. There's no, oh, that's who I am 24/7. No, you come meet me off screen. Like, I'm going to be like, I'm cool with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be, I'm not a dick. I'm not like that type of person. But it was definitely, I know how to turn it up. I know how to turn it down. I know how to choose moments. I know when the cameras are watching. I know when this is happening. I know that. So it's like, it's a game to me.
Right.
I don't take this shit serious.
Right.
It's literally a game to me. It's chess. Like, me and my manager talk every day. It's like, it's chess. This shit is not checkers.
Absolutely.
So it's just make a name for yourself. I walk that fine line of, I'm not a bad guy, but like, I'm not a good guy. It's like, it's just a fine line. It depends on who you are and when you meet me and what time you meet me at.
Absolutely. So with all that going on, outside of that, after that, did you have time for a relationship? Were you already in a relationship when you did Squid Games? How is like your dating life with all of that in the mix of your life now?
So a real big issue for me was in college. It was it was the worst. I'm talking, hurt me more than whenever I had to stop playing ball. And I've gone through a whole bunch of shit, whatever, but nothing can, because I was grown, my feelings were real, like everything was kind of different. I'm in college. But long story short, it was kind of, I cheated on, you know what I'm saying? Twice, really.
She cheated on you, or you cheated on her?
Nah, I ain't cheated on her.
She cheated on you twice.
Yeah. Cheated on me once, and then we just like didn't talk. And then I ended up, like, I was in like deep love, like blinded love. You know what I'm talking about. And just blinded by everything. So we didn't talk for months once I found out. And then, because I actually caught it. Well, like, yeah, that's a story for another day. But like, walked in on I see you on the hallway, like they both walking out of the room. I'm like, it's kind of crazy.
Did you know the guy?
Yeah, he was on my team.
Wow.
He was on my team.
Did you guys fight?
Nope. I looked at him. I looked at her. I was like, come here.
To her or him?
To her. And we're probably like 10 yards away. And I'm just leaned up against the wall. And I was psychotic back then, though. She wasn't responding. I'm like, I know she doing something. I pulled up to the apartment.
Right.
Thank God I did. But yeah, I looked at her. I was like, come here. She was like, nah, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, if she not going to come talk to me, you going to come talk to me. So he walked over. He's like, bro, I swear to God, like, nothing happened in there. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I didn't lay a hand on him.
Ooh,
he's on my team, and I see him. I had to see him. And he cool, though. Like,
every day after.
Like, I'm cool people. I don't blame. I get it as a guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been put in situations where the girl got a boyfriend, but I'm a dude. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that nigga, blah, 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 blah. But I try to, like, once I started to catch on and realize, I was like, man, that shit is real. Like, I don't want to be caught up in that. Like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that to a girl or a guy now. But I'm saying back then in college, it's more of like a reoccurring thought. You're like, man, I don't care. So I understood that.
So you more understood his perspective than her perspective because she was
fuck her perspective. It's not like in that scenario right there, it's not his fault. Because
he doesn't have, but
he doesn't have full control.
But here's the thing. Here's I feel like, yes, she's with you. She's the one that's in a relationship, but he also knows you. So he has somewhat of a relationship with you because he's on your football team.
Let me say this much.
Some type of loyalty.
Let me say this much. It was a thing that was kind of like going on for a little bit before, and I kind of caught on to it. But
before you guys.
No, I'm saying like while we were together, I was like kind of catching on to some shit. Mm-hmm. And I was putting the pieces together. And then finally I was like, that's when I called him. I was like, damn, you should been going on for a little minute. And that's why I was just like, I was chill about it. I'm understanding because she has full control. He didn't actually really know that. Me and
Why
her,
do you think she has full control?
Because the way our relationship was, her parents didn't want me and her to be together. Mm-hmm. So we didn't post each other. We couldn't really talk about each other. Like, I was never around her and her friends. She was never with me and her. Like, whenever we go out, we like see each other, like we're with each other. But it's such a small town, like, we're going to get back to her people quick. And they were threatening to cut her off, like all of this shit. And that's a tough situation for a girl to be in. So I get it. Mm-hmm. And even I was understanding on her part, like, yeah, I shed my tears and I was upset and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I was like,
so wait, but what does... I'm trying to figure out the control part.
My bad. She was telling him that like me and her are kind of done, like we're falling off.
So she kind of led the situation.
Yeah, and she told me that she said that, and he also said that too. So
she initiated it. So she was more.
I think it was a mutual type of thing,
right?
But it would definitely like the only reason it advanced was because both of them were like, "Fuck that nigga."
Right.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Right. I get what you're saying because, I mean, she's the one that's in a relationship with you. So
yeah.
Her loyalty should have stood with you from the jump of everything. Yeah, I get that. That's insane. So how did it happen twice?
Oh, I took it back. About 3 months. I told you I was in love. I was blinded. Mm-hmm. And I'm in college. So it's like, everything is real. Everything is supposed to be perfect. So did
she do it with the same guy?
We didn't talk for like 3-4 months. Mm-hmm. I went in, had my little hoe phase, whatever. And then I ended up hitting her back up. And because I knew she kind of wanted to talk, like whatever. And I hit her up. We have a mutual friend. So that's kind of how the door opened with that. And we ended up getting back together like the week after I saw her or whatever. And it was right back on. It was good at the beginning again. Then the disrespect started coming. She started bringing up everything from the past. I'm like, you the one that fucking cheated. Like, right. She bringing up all the girls that I talked to in between me and her. I'm like, so it was one of those manipulation, gaslighting type situations. You know those memes you see on Instagram? Yeah, them bitches not memes to me. They for real. Those are for real. And she ended up doing it again. She told me it was just like this. She thought I was cheating. And
so now are you single, in a relationship with somebody else, in a relationship with the same girl for the third time? What are you doing now?
I'm actually in a relationship with the coolest girl I've ever met in my whole entire life right now.
That's dope. Congratulations.
Yeah, she not to throw you under the bus, babe. I'm not doing that. But after the show came out, she hit me up, like whatever. But she she hates when I tell people this, but it was like, I stopped watching when you got eliminated. And I was like, oh, here we go. And then I clicked her page and I was like, usually I didn't really respond to messages like that. I didn't really dive into.
So she slid in your DMs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I looked right when she said that. It was about the show, what she said. I said,
so she hit you up. I stopped watching
because you got eliminated.
And
then I hit her back. I said, fuck all that. You are so pretty. Like, da da da. I just cut straight to the chase.
Right.
I could tell from just looking. I was like, oh, this is my type. This is what's gonna do it for me. I haven't been in a relationship since like probably 2 years. So I've been single, just kicking it. And I was like, okay. A few weeks later, she flew down to Baton Rouge.
Where is she from?
New York originally, but she's in the WWE, so she lives down in Orlando. Yeah, and she's older. She's 25, so it's like I only date women who are older than me. I can't do my age or younger. But it worked out. Like she came down to Baton Rouge for New Year's. She was there a few days before New Year's, and then for New Year's, I asked her to be my girlfriend. Like while she was there for 4 days, because I can already. It was quick. As a guy, you can tell. She was sitting at the table like she was shell shocked whenever I did it. It was this dessert thing. I was being corny. Like I'm a nigga that could be corny and get away with it.
You light skinned.
Because at the end of the day, I know it's a joke, and I'm gonna let you know that I know it's a joke.
Right,
so you don't think I'm like real life corny. But yeah, did that. She was like, "You are the guy that I've been looking for." I'm like, me, nigga like me. I was like, shit, I thought I looked up. Right. You telling me you looked up too? So everything.
So you guys have mutual feelings.
Yeah, it's good. Everything. She came down. I just got back staying with her. I'm about to fly there tomorrow, actually. So
I love it.
I'm glad I got that present for her to bring. Those candles are gonna be.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. It's gonna be a good little mood setter for y'all.
Be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna make a video about the whole thing, putting the candle together. It's gonna be chaotic.
Shout out to the candles. Okay, so for everyone that comes on the show, we play this game. It's a game of would you rather. I play with you too, so you don't have to be in the hot seat by yourself. So would you rather do what's on this card or would you rather do what's on that card? Okay. Rules of the game. You can't remix because people come in here try to remix the question. You have to answer, but you can give an explanation as to why you answered the way that you answered. And some of the questions are like very
explicit?
Yeah. Okay. Well, explicit to the point where you're like, all right, I want to kind of explain myself on why I gave this answer. So I play with you too, and we're going to pick, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards each.
Okay.
And you could pick and choose. I'm going to just see which ones are good. You could pick 2.
Oh, okay. 4, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, I can't even feel my hands. Jesus Christ. Some of these are really bad.
Ooh. I have 3. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pick one more because those ones are that good.
Wait, all right. I'm not gonna do this one, but I just have to read this one.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have a wet dream about your ex or about your cousin? That's all.
I mean, obviously the ex over the cousin because that's incestual.
I would hope.
Yeah, I think that's an easier than I thought question.
That shouldn't be a question on here.
Okay. All right, I'm ready when you're ready.
I have two.
Okay, go ahead.
You're a girl, so it's harder to...
Oh, trust me, I've had terrible questions asked to me. I'm like, at this point,
I
have no shame in my game.
I'm trying to dump through the questions that I think you would have already been asked. You've probably already been asked all of them.
I have so many games. I feel like we rotate games, so some of them are like not as bad.
All right, 4. That's 4. All right, cool.
Okay, so I'll go first. First question: would you rather be a sex slave or be a virgin for life?
Virgin for life. That one's easy. That one's easy for me.
Okay, it's on you.
All right. Would you rather use condoms every time you have sex for the rest of your life, or every time you have sex without a condom, you get pregnant?
I would rather use condoms for the rest of my life.
Fair enough.
Because if every time I got pregnant, we already have a lot of kids. So if we have a lot of sex. So if we're having sex and I get pregnant every time, we would have enough kids for the entire world, not even the country. Like it would be.
That's a lot of kids.
We already have a lot of kids. So, would you rather fuck someone over the age of 75 or under the age of 15? Go ahead and take another drink because that one's hard for me too.
Oh yeah. First of all, I know my answer. Don't let this shit fucking fool you. I know my answer. I'm not taking my time with my answer. I'm just trying to take the question in for personal reasons. I have to fuck an 80-year-old woman.
75. So you gave
75.
You gave extra years.
Hopefully my girl will
understand.
Hopefully she's the one that's 75.
At least not a child.
My point. Yeah.
Agreed. I would do the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Stray away from the sex real quick. Would you rather have no fingers or no elbows or knees?
Ooh, elbows or knees.
So
nothing would
you can't pick up anything, or
you can't pick up anything anyways without the elbows, or that you can't pick up. I would rather have no fingers because at least I have toes. I could pick up with my toes. Elbows and knees, you have no type of any type of joints to pick up anything or to walk or anything.
But yeah, you couldn't walk if you had no elbows
my
and
hands
knees.
away.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm with that. I'm with no fingers.
Okay. Would you rather get someone pregnant from a one-night stand or get an STD?
Chlamydia.
Something removable. Agreed.
I mean, that's something I can't remember. I mean,
but what if the one-night stand was like someone that is actually a good person that is okay, it was a one-night stand. I might not have thought it would have been a one-night stand.
Chlamydia. Every single time. And if it's a more severe STD, then I would have to, do my research. But
what if it's HIV?
Now we're talking more serious business. Now we're talking
because one night stand, that's for the rest of your life you have to deal with this person.
Yeah, but don't you?
But HIV you have to deal with it for the rest of your life.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be honest.
What if it was herpes?
Okay, see, now you're pushing it.
Herpes or HIV? What are you doing?
I don't really know the difference. I don't look into that shit.
HIV is
deadly?
Yes.
Oh, give me a kid.
The herpes is bumps and
okay, well, if I'm gonna die,
medicated help
for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yikes! I feel bad. Who is that? Who used to have that? Magic Johnson.
Yes.
Yikes! I feel bad for him. Jesus Christ!
But he doesn't have it anymore.
How do you get rid of it?
Money. I don't know. No comment.
Well, if he can get rid of it, fuck, that means I can get rid of it. Nah,
you gotta win the $456 million from Squid.
I went 4.5. I ain't winning that shit. My luck is run out by then. Okay, but
4.5.
If it's HIV, give me the kid.
Okay.
Give me the kid. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll take care. That could be. I'll take great care of the kid. Yeah.
Amen.
All right. That was a good one. Would you rather have sex with a group of complete random strangers? A group.
Tough.
So yeah. Or all of your exes.
Whew.
All of them.
It got to be group settings both times.
You know what? You said we can't twist the rules, but here we are.
Here we are.
Both of them are going to be, in my eyes, both of them are a group. All of your exes or random strangers.
I haven't had that many exes, so I feel like I don't know how big the group of the other group would be, and I don't know what they have.
Let's say,
and I feel like
4. Let's say 4 apiece.
I would rather, as much as people are exes for a reason, I would rather I would rather. Ooh, I don't know. Like, they're both bad situations.
I know my answer.
I would rather, I don't know, because I don't talk to my exes, so I don't know what they got going on with their lives.
You ain't gotta talk to them. It's just a question.
Yeah, but if you're having sex with somebody, okay, we're wrapping it all up for all of them.
See, now we gotta go deeper into the question.
But that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot going on.
I get it. All right, so 4 people.
We're not even talking 2 people. We're talking 4 people.
Each
You talking about diseases? We talking about that? It's a lot going on.
Be careful with your answer.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I would rather deal with, I guess, strangers that are hopefully clean than all
exes
of my exes.
Reason. Yeah.
You know, I just feel like exes are just like, oof. But the strangers, I mean, I don't know what any of y'all got because I ain't talked to y'all. Like, y'all all strangers. Y'all all strangers at this point.
You don't know,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't talked to no exes in over probably a decade.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're all strangers to me, but it's just like, been there, done that. I'd rather do something else than something I've already done. Preferably.
Well, you do get to choose, so preferably is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be put in a terrible maximum security prison for 1 year? That's not that bad. Or
that's a while.
Or be put in a relaxed prison that holds Wall Street types for 10 years.
Wall Street types? What's that?
I don't know.
Wall Street types is like types of people?
I guess.
If that's the case,
10 years.
Fuck no. Maximum security for a year.
Why?
10 years? 10 years is like
a long time.
That's how long.
That's a bit.
My dad was probably locked up for that long.
I've been in a relationship that long. A great bid.
Jesus, that's a long time.
10 years is a long time.
That is a long time.
It's a lot of time for growth.
Like 10 years ago, I was in 8th grade. I just got that.
That just means I'm old, y'all. If you was in 8th grade 10 years ago, I'm ancient.
I'm 20. Yeah, 8th grade. 13 years old.
Ooh, don't make me feel so.
I would do maximum security only because it's
1 year.
It's a year.
But I mean, you have killers in there. You have psychopaths in there. You have like people that aren't like sane, as opposed to people that are super smart that might have just scammed a whole bunch of people for a whole bunch of money. Who knows? 10 years is a long time.
I might have to turn into one of them psychopath motherfuckers because I'm not going nowhere for 10 years.
All right, last one on you.
All right. Would you rather find out your partner slept with one of your parents in the past?
Oh my God.
Or find out your ex now sleeps with one of your parents?
I would rather my ex because you're my ex, so I don't give a damn if you sleep with my mom or my dad. You ain't sleeping with me.
Yeah.
Than who I'm with right now. Because I mean, like, I'm with you right now, and if you slept with my parent, I would be like, you're going to be an ex too. So I just feel like that's very strange behavior to begin with in the first place. Like, what are you possibly thinking or doing?
Thank God I've never ran into that problem.
I would hope I never run into that problem. I got a super dope, like, I have both my parents are dope, but I just like my dad. I chill with my dad more than I chill with my mom. And my dad's like super swaggy and he's always around. And I feel like one of my friends might, might one day be attracted to my dad, but not my spouse. Yeah. Like, my friend, all right, you might think my dad's swaggy, you might think he's cool, but my spouse talking to my mother is like,
that's too much.
That's insanity. Yeah, like, you're mentally ill to do something like that.
We will never be seeing each other ever again.
Ever again. Ever. I mean, like, we have a child. We have children together. Yeah. So we would have to see each other. But it's like, I can't look at you the same if you was to do some... Yeah. I mean, a lot of the cards, I couldn't look at anybody the same if either one of us was to do something crazy like that. But that's just like ultimately low.
Yeah.
That's a non-forgivable, non-negotiable type of situation to be like...
I'm trying to think about that. Yeah. That's a really fucked situation.
Yeah. I'd rather someone cheat on me 10 times with 10 different people than to go with my parent one time.
Could you lose the relationship with your parent too?
Yeah, like two supposedly great people of your life, most important people in your life,
Yeah.
to be like over what? There's millions of people in the world, and you choose the person that I'm with, or my family.
Yeah.
Like, not my brother, my sister, my parent. Like, that's insanity.
That would be too much.
Insanity.
Somebody might die.
Whew.
Yeah. Somebody might die.
Snapped going up. First 40.
First 40. I was about to say that.
Okay. So what do you have going on now? What's new for you?
I've done another show since Squid Game.
So the show's called
Perfect Match, season 2. I know you probably see me on there by now. Hopefully, you got a good perspective of me and who I am. Hope it's not too bad, actually, because
you come in as a regular cast or a bombshell?
Regular cast.
Okay. And you're automatically paired up with someone.
Yeah, but you get to pick.
Did you like who you picked? Or did she pick you?
We were filming, and her name's Dominique, but she was on Too Out to Handle in the past. And Nick Lachey is at the front asking, like, so we haven't really met each other. Like, we've all been talking and mingling, but nothing too serious. So we all meet up for the first time, and Nick Lachey, the host, is talking. And he says, so is anybody interested in anybody yet? I'm all the way in the back. Me and my boy Harry just sitting all the way in the back.
Jowsy?
Yeah.
I love Harry.
She turns, points at me. She was like, him. I look like...
Out of all the people that was there.
I mean, but I understood. It was me, Harry. The other guys probably just weren't her type. I was the only light-skinned guy like in there at that time. Actually, no, I wasn't. There was one more, but he's more.
Is this Dominique, the
Filipino girl?
Oh yeah, I had her on too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. She we matched night one. I matched with her because she's a very sweet girl. Like, very sweet girl.
And smart. She's very smart.
Probably has good intentions, but I matched with her because I didn't even want to waste my energy and go time and try to go find somebody else to go match with. I'm like, oh, she already interested in me. I'm on it.
Right.
Because now I get to control what's going on. Right.
Right. So going into it, knowing that you've already been into reality TV, your perspective was what this time around? Like, were you in it to play the game? Were you in it to win the game? Like, how was your perspective going into it now that it's a relationship type of game?
Well, it was still the same for me going in because Squid Game hadn't came out yet by the time we were filming.
Oh,
so nobody on the show knew who I was. Nobody. Now, if we go do the show now, I probably would act different. People would treat me different. This, that, whatever. Nobody knew who I was. I'm the youngest one on the show. I'm a 22-year-old kid. Come in. Like, I told them, I was like, oh, yeah, I did Squid Game, blah, 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 blah. But they haven't seen it yet.
Right.
So they don't know me. They don't know how I am on camera.
Right.
But it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Right.
And I knew that. So I matched with her night one. And we start arguing that night. Immediately. I'm talking before we even match, I'm pretty sure we were arguing. Because that's how much we don't see eye to eye. On anything. Like, I'm talking beliefs. The whole 9 of just like...
What was her beliefs and your beliefs?
She's agnostic.
Mm-hmm. And for the audience that doesn't know, what is agnostic? And what is your belief?
I've been Christian my whole life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really get into all of that topic because it
was just the interest.
I knew I don't even know how to put it in the words. It's just real easy for me to tell, like, see through people like quick.
Right.
And I could see through that shit quick. Mm-hmm. She told me, she was like, I'm agnostic, which is, if I'm not wrong, I know it. I think she might believe in a higher power, but it's not necessarily God mm-hmm. or she might not believe in a higher power at all. But regardless, I knew that it was bad. Mm-hmm. For me, at least. Right. Maybe not for everybody. But the moment she said that, it was like, fuck. I knew it was coming.
Right.
Because I don't need you to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't need you to be like 100% the most perfect human being ever, but we gotta see some. We gotta kind of see that.
What is your checklist if you were to be like, all right, I want this type of woman. She needs to look a certain way, believe in a certain thing. workout? I don't know. What is your checklist in a woman?
My girl right now.
What is that?
Probably about 5. I don't have a specific type that I'm like on the fucking hunt for, but whenever this type comes, I'm like, oh shit. And probably like she's like 5'4", 5'5", short little girl, brunette. She's Italian. It's the first white girl I've dated, by the way. My ex in high school was light skinned. In college, Latina, kind of white girl, whatever. But this is the first true white girl I've dated. And so short, brunette, but all that shit don't matter. But personality wise, like you got to be able to take a joke. Because if you can't take a joke, I'm one joking motherfucker.
Right.
And if you can't take a joke,
you gotta smile and laugh in a relationship.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me if you can't take a joke. And then understanding. That's a big thing that a lot of people don't get, is that you can communicate with somebody. Everybody's like, communication is key. It's like, no, comprehension is key, in my opinion. Because you talk and you communicate and you get your point across and blah, 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 blah. But let's say, like, for example, last night, she was bitching at me last night. Like, but she's just like, you know how girls are. She's not really mad at me. She's just like over here yapping. And she's bitching at me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm trying to sit there and I'm like, you know what? Like, I actually understand where you're coming from.
Right.
I'm not trying to dumb the argument down and just say I understand because I understand, but like, I get it.
That's a good, actually, I've never heard it at all the long years my ancient ass been living. I've never heard anybody say, I mean, communication all day.
Communication
Everybody says
is key.
But comprehension,
yeah,
how you actually see,
you gotta be able to understand
and understand what that person is like talking about, how they feel about how they're expressing what they're trying to communicate. That is huge. If people can understand how to comprehend, like, and not just through text, but like verbally, your tone, all of that, that's a huge factor.
It helps
in a good relationship,
especially at a young age. Like,
absolutely.
Like I said, I'm 23, she's 25, so we're still growing. We're still whatever. But we're mature enough to know how, and we tell each other every day. We're like, this is our first, even for her, she was like, this is my first healthy relationship. I'm like, me too. I don't know what the fuck going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because everything's going good. And
how long have you guys been together?
Not long at all. Like, probably
the happy stages.
Yeah, but that's what I told her. Like, my honeymoon stage is over, like whatever. But I was like, nothing changed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how long is not too long?
What you mean?
Like, how long have you guys been together that you perceive is not too long?
Only, what are we in, February? So like a month and a half, 2 months. We brand new, fresh off the block.
Yeah.
But my honeymoon stage does wear out quick. I get tired of people quick.
Right.
But when she came to visit me, I even told her, like, this how straight up I am. I told her, I was like, usually I would have probably like never talked. Usually I would have told you to go by now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told her. And I was like, but I don't have that feeling. Like, I have the complete opposite feeling. Like, I don't want to go a day without kicking it with you or like talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Be in love, y'all. Go ahead, girl.
They got me in this bitch sweating. I'm over here talking about her.
I love it. I love it.
But now she is a really sweet, like, even her upbringing is similar to mine. It's weird because she's like a little white girl from New York, but she loved that, like the outdoor shit. And this, like, you can't just be, I don't like bougie.
Right.
I like bougie, you know, once we get to like 30, 35, we up there. But girl, you 23, 24, 25, you ain't got to be bougie. Like, let loose a little bit. You're not nobody's wife. You know what I'm saying? So, but she's cool. She understands the playing field, the game, like how a relationship's supposed to work. So it's good.
I love that. I love that for both of y'all. I hope everything goes forward and smooth and happy and positive and peaceful.
Thank you.
So tell everybody where they can find you, to watch your new show, The Perfect Match, all that good stuff.
I'm Bryton Constantine from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You can find me on all socials, just Bryton Constantine, first, last name. You probably saw me on Perfect Match Season 2. And if you haven't, you need to go check it out because that shit probably got some drama in it.
Make sure you guys tune into him on Perfect Match Season 2. And that is it for Telli Talks.
Stay in school.